What is going on, guys? DBG here, and today we're going to be doing another episode of the series where I rate your teams. So, lads, if you guys want me to rate your teams, follow me on Twitter at DBGYT_, and I will be rating a certain amount of teams every single week. I'll be going over an awful lot of them, and we are going to be rating them most of them 1 to 10. Or if I don't rate them and there's a very similar squad, you can just take the rating for that one. Again, I can't guarantee I can get to everyone's squad because over 200 people sent in squads this week. So yeah, that is pretty much it. So anyway, now let's get on to the old rating. So I sent out this tweet 3 days ago, and I'm guessing most people still have the exact same teams because like this was after the weekend. And at the exact same time, like, no good cards came out today or yesterday. I'm trying to see any teams. Okay, let me take a look. We'll take a look at this team first. So, John Wall, Kobe, Kevin Durant, Giannis, and DeMarcus Cousins. Locking in for DeMarcus is a weird one, but if you've locked in for him, you might as well use him. First of all, Boogie's or D-Rob better than Boogie. So start D-Rob, unless you're doing a weird DBG type lineup where your bench is better than your starters, which... I mean, outside of Kobe and Michael Red, you can probably argue every single position. You see, having Julius Erving and PG and Bernard King as your last year at the bench is just pointless. It's just absolutely pointless because you're just wasting MT. But that's the only real situation. Like, two of them are two guard small forwards, and your two guard small forwards probably the position you're most sorted in this entire team. So, for me, I just think that is that's just kind of a reckless spending of MT. But other than that, though, it's a very, very good team. I'm pretty sure you know it's a very good team because the team is worth at least like 2 million MT plus an awful lot of time to get those level 40s. So, yeah, I don't mind this team at all. It's probably like a 9.5 out of 10, honestly. It's realistically a 9.5 out of 10. Okay, then we have got this team right here. No money spent PS5 playthrough. Kind of everyone's the same team now, which is, it's boring, but it is what it is. Like, until 2K start releasing more variety of players. Like, 2K haven't released a good budget player in 3 weeks. So obviously everyone's going to still run Mikal Bridges. 2K haven't released really since the Mystic Pack's a good mid-tier card. Outside, like, someone like Draymond's okay, but they haven't released many. There's a reason why everyone's using the same cards. But, I like Smart, I like Harden. I like the starting lineup. And your bench, I'm not that high on Cliff. James Harden, Julius Erving, most fun cards to play with. I'm not the biggest fan of Cliff, but I mean, look, he's free. And he's not worth replacing. If you really like Mikal Bridges, maybe going for an Eddie Jones might be a shout. But other than that, I like the team. I really, really like the team. It's a solid team. So, it's like an 8.5 out of 10. Okay. Let's try and get a non-flex squad. I mean, literally someone... Okay, like, someone here has he has Limitless to Kobe. So it's 5 half... Actually, having Limitless to Kobe is 5 half Limitless players, and Larry's half data added. Who are the 5 half Lim... I mean, Dr. J and Lillard are just chilling on the end of your bench. Like, there's no point. You've got 2 point guards chilling on the end of your bench. You're just saying that you can get an extra half Limitless player in. So who are the 5 players with half Limitless? Like, Kobe, Red, Larry. Oh yeah, Dr. J and Dame, yeah. You literally just have 2 guys sitting at the end of your bench that will never play just to say you have 5 Limitless players. Like, what's the point in that? But I really do like Larry. Starting lineup, pretty great. Giannis is, I don't know how I feel about Giannis, but if you like Sabonis, like, there's still to this day people swear by Sabonis. Michael Red, brilliant. Where are all these people getting Michael Red from? I've played like nearly 200 games between all counts and never seen Michael Red. Gary Payton there at the one's good. Lillard, Magic Johnson. So a solid team. A solid team. Again, this is in the like 9.2, 9.3 out of 10 category. Alright, so we are 4 minutes in. We have not seen a team that's not basically the same. Okay, this one's a little bit more interesting. He's obviously got Wong. He's got Mike playing at the 4. I don't know how I feel about Mike at the 4 and Jaren Jackson Jr. at the 5. Actually, I get it. I'm cool with that. Eddie Jones on the bench is really good. Mikal Bridges starting, so you got a Huff Interceptor player on the bench on starters. You've got, oh my god, like, can you guys please leave nicknames for Jonathan Isaac and Wong GG, because we're obviously going to be seeing, so everyone who uses a budget squad uses the 2 of those guys together, because, well, why wouldn't you? So if you guys could come up with a nickname, there weren't that many nicknames in the last video. I really want people to come up with a nickname for these 2 guys, but there was one that I saw, the Wang Sack. That's a nickname, like, that might be the worst nickname ever for the combo of these 2 guys. But yeah, so Colin Sexton he's small, but he's not bad. Don't get me wrong, Colin Sexton is not a bad player at all. He's just that little bit undersized. He's got a good wingspan though. He's free. He's only got 37 KMT, so not even gonna say replace him. Like, this is like a 7.5 to 8 out of 10, but considering the price of this team, you got like 2 players in this team that go for more than 12 KMT. Say 3 players in the team to go for like more than 12k. It's a relatively good team. It's on the cheap side. Okay. You think the team is pretty good for your level and no money spends. You see you have 3 pairs of dynamic duos, which is great. Oh, you have a lot to learn. So I don't disagree. But like, what way do you run your bench lineup? I don't get that. First of all, Pierce, Wiseman do not belong there. Like, obviously, your backup point guard is Cole Anthony. You have Poku and Lou Dort just there for the lulz, because even with the duo, they're not good. Gerald Green, I don't even know what way you run your bench lineup. The only thing I know is that Cole Anthony's at the 1 and Wong GG is at the 5. So what do you run? Like, Cole Anthony. I'm just going to take a stab, because if he says his duo, it's going to be Cole Anthony at the 1. Lou Dort at the 2. Poku / Isaac at the 3. Poku / Isaac at the 4. And Wong GG at the 5. And it means you've got your arguable best small forward. Arguably your best small forward in Robert Covington not on the court. So, like, James Wiseman does not belong. There's a lot of empty wasted in the Dikembe Mutombo. I actually don't mind the Dikembe Mutombo. I don't feel like Snow gets enough better at him than him, or better with him to justify the duo. But it's not a bad duo. But he's still like 40, 50k. You can very easily sell the Dikembe Mutombo, replace him with a Mike, and replace him with a Jaren Jackson Jr. who are better cards, and keep Eric Snow there, who's fine with the duo. Wiseman does not belong in this team at all. This is a team that if I saw loading up, I'm thinking, even if I'm using the scrub squad, that I'm winning. Like, Paul Pierce. I don't mind Paul Pierce. And that's a weird one. Like, this is someone who doesn't hate Paul Pierce. Jarvis Hayes is just objectively a better card. Thibault's better. Sadiq Bey's better. Like, guys like Isaac are better. Just because he says 91 overall does not make him spectacular. If you really like Cole Anthony, if you can get used to that Paul Pierce base and you like Cole Anthony, I don't mind using him with Jonathan Isaac. Honestly, I just don't rate Cole Anthony either. There are a lot of players that I would say are better than Cole Anthony. Like, this team, like, if you sold your Dikembe, you sold your Wiseman. I don't know what price Cole Anthony goes for. And there's no need to have all those guys on the bench. Like, you have probably 40k to work with, and you can make or you probably have 70k to work with. You can make a better team than this with 70k. You have at least 70k to work with. There's a lot of players. Like, again, just a Sadiq Bey, just somewhere in this team. Like, the team's not bad for no money spent. It's all right. Like, you don't need MT to make this squad better, honestly. Like, Mikal Bridges for Paul Pierce. Mikal Bridges is like 6k MT. Bridges is significantly better than Paul Pierce. If you could sell Lou Dort and you could sell Alexei Pokushevsky, and you get Matisse Thybulle, who's significantly better than both of them, just because he doesn't have a duo does not mean he's not, or that means there's a difference. Keep Robert Covington as your backup small forward. So get Sadiq Bey playing small forward, power forward, or say get Sadiq Bey playing power forward, small forward. Get Mikal Bridges off the bench. If you really want to run with Cole Anthony, I'm cool with it because he's got an offense. if you like his release, and you can run Jonathan Isaac at the 4. Then sell Lou Dort and Pokashevsky and replace them with Matisse Thybulle at the 2. Play Robert Covington at the 3. Play Jonathan Isaac at the 4 and Monty at the 5. And there's no point having OJ Mayo and Gerald Green at the end of the bench. This team, realistically, I see this lineup load up and think, okay, this is a new player. I'm not gonna lie, this is definitely a team of someone who is kind of new to my team, but it can be better. It can definitely be better. Okay, only play current. I like this squad. This squad looks a little... I know you still have... But, like, there's no point not running the Eddie Jones and Jonathan Isaacs of the world. Like, there's no point not running that. I mean, that player on the bench you're not allowed to use online. The random player. Or say not the random, the creative player. But Jamal Crawford, Alex Caruso, Mikal Bridges, Draymond, and Bill Russell. Like, I like this team. You got 2 half interceptor players. You got Crawford, who, if you've him badged up the correct way, you love having scoring PG surrounded by cones. Crawford is Clamps interceptor. I mean, I hope he has range. I really hope he has that limitless spot up, because that's a little bit more important for, with the amount of defense you have in your team, it's a little bit more important for that than having his defense. But you've got really, really good defensive starting lineup, and you've got a really solid defensive bench lineup as well. There's no point really having 3 Sapphires at the end of the bench, set 3 goals, you're losing MT there. But I like your structure. You've got a scoring point guard surrounded by a bunch of defenders that can all hit jump shots. So, like, look, I can't give this any less than 8.5 out of 10. It's a nice little team right here. It's a nice team. Okay, let me have a look right here. Any teams that are interesting? Not really. Like, you guys know what, like, is an interesting team. An interesting team is one where, like, again, the guy who just started out, where we're able to actually give advice other than, yeah, your team is good. Okay. Wasted all your MT to get Buggy because you won your favorite players. That's cool. Like, people would probably say, like, that is, like, reckless spending of MT. Now, like, if someone like DeMarcus Cousins is your favorite player and you really want to get him, I'm always cool with that. Like, at the end of the day, using your favorite player is one of the most fun things you can do on my team. But this team right here, I'm telling you, even with Buggy, you can make a much better team. So, let me think of how much you can sell your guys for. Like, sell Valanciunas, he does not belong. Let's say he's 15k MT, because I know no diamond goes for under 10k right now. I do not know price in Valanciunas because he's a scrub. Let's say Chris Paul. Chris Paul is an original owner. I assume you got Chris Paul from the locker code, so you can't sell him. So you can sell Ingram, you can sell Jonas Valanciunas. JJ Redick still goes for like 4 or 5k as far as more. JJ Redick's a scrub as well. He's like an actual scrub. 72 speed, like he's a scrub. Like, sell Redick, sell Ingram, sell Valanciunas. You're making at least 25k. Sell Gerald Green, sell Paul Pierce. I mean, I'm not even gonna say sell Franz Wagner because he's big. Those two guys are gonna combine for like 3 or 4k. So you probably you have about 30k to work with, and with that 30k, just buy the normal, buy the Matisse Thybulle, buy your Sadiq Bays of the world. Go get yourself Jarvis Hayes instead of Gerald Green, who's better. Danny Green's fine, and then Jonathan Isaac one combo off the bench at the power forward and center, that works perfectly. So let's think. Tyball's like 1.5k. Jarvis Hayes is like 1.5k, so that's like 3k. Then Sadiq Bey is like 2.5k, so that's like 5.5. Let's say 5.5k. Plus Wong and Isaac is like 6k. Let's just say 11.5, 12k. So that gives you 13k to work with for a point guard, and then you can replace Terry Rozier with Marcus Smart. You got a much better team. You got a much better looking team now than you have right here. I don't even mind your starters that much. Like, I don't really like Gerald Green, but Gerald Green can kind of move. Franz Wagner's alright, and Paul Pierce is not bad. Your bench is weak. Like, Ingram's not even that bad. You can just get better for cheaper. Redick, Chris Paul's fine. Redick's just awful. Valanciunas is a garbage man. So yeah, that's what I would do to that team. Okay. So Paul Larson, I assume Paul Larson's not badged. Harden, Cole Anthony on the bench with Jonathan Isaac. I don't even mind Cole Anthony with Isaac with that duo. I really don't. Aaron Gordon, he's not bad. Okay. Then how much MT you have? Sell Paul Larson. Get Marcus Smart. Find a way. Paul Larson's not very good. Like, he's... If Paul Larson, if you have some weird badged up... Well, that Paul Larson he can't get most of the badges. If you have some weird limitless range interceptor, 75th Paul Larson, then fair enough. But, like, if you just got that normal Paul Larson, nah, he's not it. He's really not it. So, yeah. I don't mind the team. I really don't. Your bench is pretty decent. Cole Anthony, look, I'm not that high on him, but with the duo, I have to admit he does make Isaac better and he's pretty good. Harden's good. This is a solid team. When I saw Paul Larson and Cole Anthony, I got worried, but this is actually a solid team. Okay. Open to any suggestions, don't want to spend more than 30k. Okay, first of all, start Mikal Bridges for Hondo. And swap Hondo for what's the dude's name? Eddie Jones. Run Jarvis Hayes as your bench small forward. And then run with Eddie Jones the 2. Go Mikal Bridges at the 3. And that's what I would run. So you got like your 3k for selling Hondo. And then you replace that with like a 12k for Eddie Jones. So you spend about 10k. Other than that, I like your team. I mean, probably Jonathan Isaac for Josh Smith. Because Isaac is better than Josh Smith in my opinion. Other than that, I like the team. Like, I like Smart. I really like Draymond. I like Jaren Jackson Jr. I like Wong. I really like Harden. I like DeJounte. Like, this team is actually pretty fine as is. You've got no weaknesses. I just think you can make the team that little bit better for within the price range you've set, 30k. Okay, nobody spent. Just bought Caruso and put down. Just bought Cam Caruso and sold them. How? Like, Dampier is not as good as Tyrese Maxey, and I stand by that. I stand by that statement that Dampier is not even in the same stratosphere as Tyrese Maxey. I think Tyrese Maxey is way better than Louis Dampier. Like, I think he's way better. You know, you have 103k. Like, man, I would have just kept Maxey and just got rid of Dampier. I know he's a diamond, but he sucks. Okay, as much as I like DeAndre Ayton, and I love DeAndre Ayton for his time, Wong Juju's better. You got Eddie Jones. Mikal Bridges probably for Hondo. I'll swap for Mikal Bridges for Hondo. Caruso at the 1 is definitely better than both of those point guards. I would have considered buying Maxey back, to be honest. Maxey's way better than that scrub Louis Dampier. Like, just seeing Louis Dampier on the floor, I would think, okay, this is an easy win. But if you like him, you like him. But I'm really not a fan. Honestly, if you like Louis Dampier, the new Bob Cousy is even better. If you're just like, oh, I abuse half mismatch expert, just get the new Bob Cousy, who's way better than Louis Dampier. Dampier doesn't even move. Like, you've actually, like, Isaac's pretty good. Your 2 through 5 in your starting lineup is good. Like, again, I can't give more than like a 7 out of 10, but not awful lineup. Especially with Caruso, it's very good. Actually, your 1 through 5 is your starting lineup is good with Caruso. Your starting lineup is very, very solid with Alex Caruso. Okay. I'm just a heads up. If you send me a picture like this, how the hell am I meant to see that? Like, it's hard for me to see that on my screen. How is someone meant to read that? Like, at least have it cropped so that there's no that the picture takes up like most of the screen. Okay, this is a weird one. Okay, so John Wall, you've got the 1 point something million Kobe. You have half back down Punisher John Wall. That's funny. That's a funny card. Also run Pianor with Duncan until I get a switch. 5 out Masher Penny. Use Giannis as a point center. Also like to shoot fades with KD. Jalen and Kobe stay 600 KMT. Each jersey must be its own color. What are you talking about? You got 3 guys with white jersey at the end of your bench. I'm pretty confident you've got Jaylen Brown and Giannis who are both wearing green jerseys. And like, I don't get it. First of all, I'm cool with Jaylen Brown and Kobe, but what's the point of having 75th Kobe? I'm sorry. You can sell him for over $1 million and you can buy just the regular Kobe for like $300K. Like, I don't get that. And they're the same card. They're honestly the same card. Then you've got, I don't even mind your starting lineup. I think Vus is a weird one. Like, I would sell Vus, move Tim Duncan to center, and I don't know, even put in freaking Isaac or something as power forward. So I don't like Duncan at power forward. Giannis is fine. Like, what the hell are Iguodala and Gary Harris doing here? What's Gary Harris doing there? Like, there's no reason to it. You haven't said you enjoy using Gary Harris. I don't see the reason for using Gary Harris, and I also don't see the reason for using Andre Iguodala on the 12th of December. Like, he was not bad when he came out. I'm pretty confident he came out in September. Like, he was either September or October. Or early October. There's no reason he's either of those two guys. Like, the fact that me saying, oh, get Tyrese Maxey and Jonathan Isaac is an upgrade on your 3 million MT squad is mad. Like, you have literally, your team is like, let's say 250k on Wall, 1 million on Kobe, like guts of 100k on Duncan, 400 or 500k on Giannis, same on Kevin Durant. Like, this team is the guts of 2 million MT. Or sorry, this team is the guts of 3 million MT. Like, it's not quite, actually no, it's about 2.5 million MT. You have a squad that is 2.5 million MT that can be improved by the addition of Matisse Thybulle. Like, what are we doing here? You've got, by the looks of it, infinite MT, and you're running Nikola Vucevic and bringing Giannis and KD off the bench and starting Vus. Like, again, Jaylen Brown and Kobe are fine. They're the only ones you had to, like, you tried to say, oh, Jaylen and Kobe are staying. Like, you got 600k MT. Dude, like, why not make that? Why not make that 1.4 million by just getting the normal Kobe instead of 75th Kobe? And then, I don't know, maybe spending like a 40k on a Harden off the bench. Instead of Iguodala, I don't know, spend like the 50k on an AK. And buy George Mikan. Your team's way better then. Your team is way better, and ironically enough, you're still going to have over 1 million MT instead of 600k. Like, I don't even mind this team. It's just weird. And what the hell's Gary Harris doing there? And what the hell's wrong with regular Kobe? Because I've only seen one regular Kobe today. I do not know anything about whatever that game that was. Okay, is this an interesting team? No. No, I just need to find something I need to find an interesting team right here. Like, these aren't, like, none of these are bad teams. Okay. Just a heads up, one bit of advice that I would give to everyone is to attack speed downgrade. Okay, this is an interesting team. Okay, this is definitely a beginner player. This is definitely someone who has just started off the game, and that's okay. That's okay. Okay, so what's the best way to work around this? You'd like to replace Caron Butler. I actually like Levine, but I think with your current state of MT, I think getting rid of Levine and Miles Turner, who might be your two best players, would be the smartest decision. I would first of all, again, get the big Wong, get him in at center. Him and Jokic will hold it down. Jokic, neither of them are quite as good as Miles Turner, but they'll hold it down enough, and it gives you more than the 2,000 MT. Getting rid of Zach LaVine, if you want a player that plays exactly like Zach LaVine, just go and start Jalen Green. They play very, very similarly. Zach LaVine's just that little bit better. Jalen Green is cool though. And then you want a guy who kind of plays like that off the bench, go get yourself a Kevin Huerter. He doesn't dunk like LaVine, but he shoots like LaVine and he moves like LaVine. Luka Doncic. I know a lot of people are Luka Doncic fans. Unfortunately, that card is the definition of a straight up garbage man in 2K. He's awful. Derrick Jones Jr., he can hit wide open shots and that's about it. At this stage in the game, he's really not it. Having Mike Conley as when you're last year at the bench is kind of pointless. If you have him there saying, oh, I use him sometimes instead of Curry, and just sell Curry because you can get a decent chunk of MT for Curry. Miles Bridges is a 6'6" power forward. Like, your 2 power forwards are 6'6", so that's not a, maybe Derrick Jones Jr. 6'7", but they're tiny power forwards. There's no point using either of them. So honestly, sell your Miles Bridges. Like, you go for the normal. Like, Jonathan Isaac is kind of a needed player somewhere in there. Sadiq Bey works pretty well. You can use, there are a load of guys. Again, like, I would suggest a Herder if you like running with your, if you like running with Levine and like Jalen Green, guys like that. I would suggest a Kevin Herder to replace them at the 2. And then I honestly wouldn't use Steph Curry as your backup point guard. I would go for more of a defensive point guard. Unfortunately, the challenge for Nate McMillan is no longer there, which is a little bit disappointing. I would have suggested to go for Nate McMillan. So if you kind of want a taller point guard that will play defense, you will have more than enough MT for an Alex Caruso. He's like in and around like the 10-15k, or you can use a Marcus Smart, one or the other. If you do mainly use your ball handler, your 2 guys, your ball handlers, I would go for Caruso. If you use your point guard, your ball handler, I go for Marcus Smart. Small forward instead of Luka Doncic. Again, there are a lot of guys that you can use that on a budget that are pretty decent. Again, you can use the likes of Thibault, like Jarvis Hayes works. Franz Wagner isn't bad. Trying to look through guys, I'm like, which ones aren't bad. Sadiq Bey is pretty good. Again, I mentioned him. So there are a lot of these players. Danny Green, if you're on the Amethyst token market. Walter Davis isn't even that bad. There's a lot of players, but there's definitely a lot of players that are good, but Luka Doncic is not one of those good bunch of cards. This team, honestly, I can't give them more than 6 out of 10, but you got a few decent players. You got a few good players like the likes of DeJounte to work with. Okay, let me scroll. Since when was this Benzema in 91? Am I losing my mind? He was 91. I think I am losing my mind. Okay. Why are you using Sapphire Jaylen Brown? Like, the rest of your team is fine, but why are you using Sapphire Jaylen Brown? Have you ever used Sapphire? Have you ever seen the stats of Sapphire Jaylen Brown? Like, he's not a bad Sapphire, but he's not a particularly good Sapphire either. Like, he's got like an 80, he's a 77 speed. Actually, you know what? Saying he's not a good Sapphire is bad. Like, he is a very good Sapphire. He's a really good Sapphire, but like, he's also, what? Why did I think he was 6'7"? No, all Jaylen Browns are 6'6" this year. Yeah, I'm wrong, but still, that's a weird one. That's just a weird player to use. If you like him, be my guest. I'm Paul Pierce. I'm guessing you're a Celtics fan. That's just an awkward one. An awkward player to see. We're going to go for one more squad. I'm just going to find one more interesting one. Man, people love this duo. People really love this duo. Okay, this is the last one. Need whatever help I can get. Okay, so he must be struggling. LeBron James. Yeet LeBron James. Poku, no. Jalen Green, as when you're last year at the bench, you can actually get decent coinage for him. Sell Jalen Green. You have original owner Dominique, original owner Andrew Wiggins. Just chuck them to the side. You don't need either of them. There's a lot of the other ones. I'm not even going to say get rid of Hondo. Hondo's fine. Caruso works. But like, you've got no one on your bench that can create at all. If you want to use Caruso, I would suggest running Kevin Herter at the 2. Or moving Jalen Green. One or the other. You have a choice. You can keep Jalen Green, and you can run Jalen Green at the 2 instead of, and get rid of LeBron, get rid of Hondo. You can either run Jalen Green at the 2, or if you want to sell Jalen Green, run Kevin Herter at the 2. If not, or if you want to keep Alex Caruso, because then you have nobody. Your bench lineup is known to initiate the offense. Obviously, Wang Zhiji instead of John J. Ayton, he's just better. Sadiq Bey is just straight up better than Alexei Pokusevski. And that's probably what I would suggest to kind of run. Even Jalen Green at the 2. Jarvis Hayes the 3. At the 4, run Sadiq Bey off your bench, and then Wang Zhiji. Wang Zhiji at center. And then when you sell LeBron, Hondo, DeAndre Ayton, and with the guys you bought, you probably have a little bit of MT there. And what would I do with that? I would actually start Jarvis Hayes the 2. I would sell OJ Mayo. Now off the bench, you can afford Miles Bridges or Mikal Bridges off the bench. You can afford Mikal Bridges off the bench at the 3. You sell OJ Mayo, John Havlicek, LeBron James, and Poku. Get Sadiq Bey at the 4. Move Jalen Green to the 2. You can probably afford Mikal Bridges. And sorry, selling Ayton and replacing him with Wang Zhiji. You can probably afford to get Mikal Bridges at the 3, and that's probably the best you can do. So, anyway, that is the video, lads. This is a Christmas edit. Well, the last one of these before Christmas. So anyway, that's the video. Thank you guys for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe.